Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Zakaria the Ghost. Guys, today I want to share the story of how I got baptized. But before that, let me share something with you guys, because I see so much similarities between political parties and churches in South Africa. The only difference is that the other one holds the Bible, the other one holds the Constitution book. The other one will tell you that according to section so and so, the law says, and the other one will say, according to the book of Mark, Jesus said. And now, this is only where I see the difference. But when it comes to money, when it comes to taxes, when it comes to the way everything operates, guys, I'm not speaking on the behalf of one church. I'm speaking on the behalf of all the churches. And soon we are going to have difficulties to identify the difference between the two. But that is the story for another day. Let me leave it right there. Growing up as a young man, I always struggle a lot with spirituality. I will always see things before they happen. I will always see, people in my family who are no longer with us. We can call them ancestors. And most of the time when I tell the elders about these things, it is something which is like taboo. Nobody wants to talk about it because now my elders, they were in the church. So now they didn't want to mix up the two. They didn't want to talk about, African spirituality or traditional healing while they are in this ZCC church. So it was a problem. So I felt like a child who is lost. Now, it has been that because I remember one day when I was just sleeping, I just saw this old man, he was, riding a horse. And when he arrived to me, he told me that, look, I want you to go and see where I'm staying because no one is visiting me where I am staying. So I was like, no, I don't even know you. Why should I even go with you? And he told me, it was in a dream, remember, he told me that I will bring you back. Just go with me. I promise I will bring you back. And there is this thing spiritually that when you are into that kind of dreams or vision, there is the thing whereby you still have control. You can still see everything around you. You can still make decisions. You can still sense the kind of power you have against the person who is with you. If anything happens, can you fight spiritually? It's something that will be explained because I know some people, they dream about themselves fighting with certain people or the spirit of the darkness and this and that. It is a gift. It is a spiritual gift. You can still, your spirit can still go and fight battles for you while you are still sleeping. So it is something which is deep. It can be explained one day. But let me just continue. So I decided to go with him. And when I went outside, I find out there is people waiting outside. Lots of people. And he said I should, ride the horse. I was there and I remember he was walking next to me and he was holding a stick, and that part of the stick was explained later. Then he was holding a stick and I was on top of that horse and we were riding until when we arrived to where he is staying, and all those people, they were walking with us. And where he is staying, I remember when we opened the gate, it is like the old farms. It is like the old farms, those gates whereby you just have to hook it. I see the gate opening without anybody touching it. And I saw that the road, it was a sandy road, the road that goes to that farm. And he said, your journey ends here. I just wanted to show you where I stay because of where I am. It's very cold. I need a blanket. And that was the message that he kept on telling me. Where I am, I need a blanket. So I went home and I spoke with the elders from my auntie's side. The sister to my father. So I spoke with the auntie and the auntie told me that, no, we knows about that. We have been told many years ago that we should go and, do a tombstone. When the grandfather tells you that, he is feeling cold, he wants the tombstone. Okay, anyway, I didn't know much about him, and they told me about him, and they told me that the road that I saw, yes, it is exactly where he was buried. And I described the gate, I described everything, because they wanted me to describe everything so that they will know if I'm talking about the same person that they buried in the farm back in the days when they were still staying in that farm. So now they started to arrange now, because I was not working, I had nothing. Now they started to arrange, they put money together, some of my family members who has money, and we did the ceremony. Long story short, before we go to the grave site where we buried him, one of my uncle's son told me something before we go to where we buried my grandfather. He said, tell him that you are ready to receive your things. I will never forget this. And I asked him over and over again, because I wanted to know what he meant by that. But he didn't want to explain more. He just said, no, why not just tell him that? Just tell him that you are ready, it is time. And it didn't sit well with me, because I understood that he knows more than I know. And I understood that he doesn't want to share anything with me. And that really made me angry, because of now, all my life, I suffer a lot. I have so many things that I see, and I have no explanation. And there is people who knows, but no one is telling me. I am actually lost, Now, we went there, we did the whole ceremony, everything went well. And I said the wait, but the problem was that I realized that no one gave me like that chance of saying, okay, as the way we are doing, you can speak with your ancestors or this and that. No one gave me that thing. But anyway, I just said the words and we left. And now he stopped coming to my dreams like over and over. The only time that he will come is when I see him, in the donkey cart. He will be with me in that donkey cart, and we will go somewhere and we will stop, next to the tree. And when we look at the tree, the branches or the leaves, not the branches, the leaves from the trees will be falling down. But when they fall, they are changing to be the notes, like the money notes, the $100 notes, the $10 notes, the $200 notes. But I realized that he said, let's go and get that money. But when we go there and we pick that money keeps on adding. It becomes more. And I realized that the more I pick, I put everything in my t-shirt, because now I'll use the t-shirt as a bag. I still don't pick all those money on the floor. And I realized that he is not picking the money and putting it in his pocket. He is picking that money and throwing it next to my feet. And sometimes he will come around whereby I see the ATMs, like maybe I'm at the mall, I see the ATM, you see when you withdraw the money, there is that sound of the money coming out, and I see the money like just coming out, and there is no one at the ATM to withdraw that money. And I will go there and take out my t-shirt and put it down there so that all that money can just be on my t-shirt. And sometimes I will see myself, finding these Kruger Rands on the floor and this and that. I'll pick it up. Or sometimes I'm digging somewhere and I'm getting the golds or the diamonds. Those are the kind of versions that I started to see, after we put the tombstone there. Now, I went to school, everything is fine. Then I got sick, 2004 when I'm doing my matric. So my mom told me that I should move from there and come to Joburg. And when I come to Joburg, there was this other person who was just helping people. I was told that, no, this is, the prophet who helps people. And when I arrived there, I just sat down and he started telling me everything. Like even things that I didn't know. He started telling me the reasons why I always go to the mountains. He told me the reasons why I always want to go to the caves and pray in the caves. So he explained everything while he is busy writing, because he had a book that he was writing everything down. And what was surprising, it is that he didn't even ask me questions. And he told me that I see what happened, to your school, because there was a fight there at school, but I wrote about everything in my book. So he at least told me that don't worry much about what happened, because it was bigger than what you know and what you see. Because I was planning to go and study law. I really wanted to become one of those guys who will run the law firm one day. And he said, right now you shouldn't worry much about going back to that school. You shouldn't worry much about going to finish your matric. What I see baptism, because your days are numbered. Because everything that happened in that school, in that village, it happens because of 1, 2, 3. And he told me that when I look at you, I see baptism, but I am not the first person who told you about baptism, because there is another prophet that told you about baptism. And now I looked back and I realized that before my mother took me to Johannesburg, now there was this other prophet who was there at home. He was from Venda. He was the albino. So now this prophet, arrived to the village and he was helping somebody, to the other house. And I was told about him and I went there to see him. And when I arrived, he said, before you say anything, because I just greeted them, he said, before you say anything, I want these people to tell you what I told them. And there were 3 people who were sitting there under that tree. And they said, the prophet told us that he was supposed to go back to Venda today, but he cannot go without seeing you, because he told us that he see a young boy coming to him wanting help or looking for help. And if I go to Venda without helping him, this boy is going to die. And God will never forgive me for not helping this boy. So he waited for me. He waited for me. And from thereafter, he said, now you can speak. Then I explained to him that, look, I'm in pain and I don't have any money to pay you. But I just want you to help me and I will pay you when I have money. He said, you are not going to pay me. I'm going to help you, but I know you are not going to pay me. But it's okay anyway, because of I see you and I see how gifted you are. Let me help you so that tomorrow you can go and help other people. And I was shocked when I'm telling him that one day I will have money and I'm going to pay you. And he said, you are not going to pay me. And to be honest, guys, till this day, I never paid him. Because when I was in Tembisa, we kept in contact and he told me to the house where he was, because he was helping somebody, because he said they call him and he can travel and go and help people, because I think it's expensive. So I went there, I met him. I remember I was having a problem with my ID and he just saw me and he told me that, no, your ID will come back, don't worry. And the ID, came back. But now the fact is that I never paid him, and he told me that I need to be baptized. And how he healed me, it was very strange. He told me, let's go to the house, and we went to the house where he was, and he told me to go outside and to pick 3 smallest stones that I can find on the ground. I picked those 3 smallest stones here, and he took those stones and he prayed for water. He took those stones and he threw them into the water, and he told me to drink that water. I drank the water and the pain, just started to become better. From thereafter, he told me that each time you feel pain, drink this water. Each time you feel pain, drink this water. Just use the lid, pour into a lid and drink this water. And I did that until my mother arranged for everything and I went to Joburg, and that's where I met this other man of God. So he was confirming what the albino, who is the prophet at home from Venda, told me. And I was like, you know what? Because they both told me that no one is forcing you. It's your choice. You can be baptized if you want to. It's your choice. And I decided to go and get baptized. And now I started going to the St. Agnes, the one that you see here on top. So I went there. I remember the day I got baptized. I will never forget that day. I know the video is taking long. I don't want to do part 2 of this. I just want to make one long video. So I will never forget that day, because of when you go there, I spoke with my mom and she gave me the blessings and everything. So I went there. And when I arrived there, we were a group of people. It was men and women. We were baptized. And you see, women are like there. They're busy singing. You know, they're singing those songs when, you know, they're taking you to the river. And what happened that day was surprising, you know, to people who were baptizing us. But I remember their elder was so angry on that day, and he said, I am always telling you all the time, do not sleep when you are in this place. Do not sleep, because you are baptizing people who are different, who comes from different families. But now every time, because of you coming, you baptize people and it's easy, you think this is what it will always be. Because now they baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And now once they said with the Holy Spirit, you know, they take you in the water, take you out, take you in the water, take you out, take you in the water, like you're laying down. But now when they said the Holy Spirit, I don't know what happened. But when I remember, when my mind came back to me, I was in the middle of the river and everyone was behind me. And the women were no longer singing. It was silence. And I looked back and I realized that everybody is quiet. And the pressure of the water, because it's like I jumped, took down my pants, like my trousers, the tracksuit that I was wearing. That power of going up, it was too much. And during that time, as I remember, you know, there was just, I don't know what the water and, you know, the spiritual thing does, because my ears, it was just this kind of a sound in my ears that I don't even know what makes that kind of a sound, you know. And I looked back and I saw that the elder who is doing the baptism, he was looking at me and he said, it's okay, son, it's okay, come back to me. And I took my time even after he said that, because I remember I had to stand there, because I was like, stand still. I couldn't move. I had to stand there for some couple of seconds, maybe 40, 60 seconds, maybe. So I slowly recovered, you know. And I remember I pulled back my pants slowly. And he was very patient. And I looked back again. And he realized that I am gaining, you know, back my conscience. And he said, come back to me slowly. And I turned around. I remember I went to him, you know, just walking very slow. It was silence. But when I reached to his two assistants, they grabbed me with power. It was something that really surprised me. When they grabbed me with power, he said, don't do that. Don't do that to him. Let him walk out by himself. And I walked out, and there were two other people who were told that they should take me to the other side where we parked our cars, far from, you know, the river. And he told those other people that I tell you all the time, be careful, do not sleep. And they had to decide if they have to continue to baptize people or they have to stop. Because what just happened, it is big. And they don't know if they are going to baptize somebody who will be like me, or maybe be more powerful than me, or worse. So I remember those two guys who took me to the other side. The other one was very excited, telling me that you have no idea what you have. You have no idea who you are. You don't know, man. They are taking you away from that space because of if you keep on be there, the baptism cannot continue smooth. Because what you did there is something that I've never seen. I'm always here to baptize people, but I've never seen something like that. You have a gift in you. And even the man who is baptizing us, he knows. That's why he can't risk having you next to everyone there. You have the gift. You have the spiritual power. And be careful, because there will be so many people who will come for you. There will be so many people who will see that in you, and they will want to take you out because of that. Always remember that. The guy I remember his face, he was so happy for me. He told me that he always had, this thing of people who have this spiritual power, this and that. And now I am not making this thing to boost. Once you have the ancestral calling and you go to water, most of the time you don't come out. So when I talk about spiritual powers, guys, I am not saying this to boost myself. Everybody knows. Now, when you grow up, or once you get more older, you will understand why are they saying some people, they are always playing far away from the river and water. Because if they go near the water, the landlord or whatever which is in that river always takes them. Some of them, after they've been taken by that, the family has to go there and slaughter a goat, or the family has to go there and slaughter a cow and do a ritual or whatever, so that you can come out of that river. The African things are so deep, guys. Sometimes when you're just talking to somebody, people might not really get what you're trying to say. It's like you're trying to boost. Everybody knows. If you were called to become a traditional healer, we all know, and there is difference between traditional healers. There are those ones. So once I go to water, that's my home. Once I go to the mountains, that's my home. It is not even something that I cannot even go and start discussing with people. So that's the reason why I can share easily the stories about the rivers, the stories about, the mountains, because that's where I spend most of the time. The same way you see other people go into the rock climbing, they go into, mountain hiking. I just do that. But for me, it's not that. I'm just now going for the sake of I need to be in the presence of the mountain or in the presence of the river. It is no longer the thing of saying I'm going there to pray, hope God will give me this and that. No, I'm going there because of now I feel more comfortable sometimes to be there, and I take a lot of pictures now. I just enjoy to be on that space. So then I've been there. I've been in the St. Agnes Church, until I was told that, look, man, most of your people, they want you to go to ZCC, the one with the star. So I had to move from this other church to the one in ZCC Moria that everybody know with the star. So I spent most of my years in the church, That's where now I started learning a lot of things. I started understanding spirituality. I started understanding, stuff. But you need to know that there are people who are called to become traditional healers, and there are people who are called to be like prophets, like going to different churches and just to prophesy. And there are people who has both. And this answer the questions where people are asking why ZCC it's still talking about ancestors, or you hear people referring the church as the church that still embrace the ancestors. One of the reasons is that most people, they forget. They go to churches because of now they are told that God will do this for you, God will bless you, God will bless you with that, God will bless you with this, and forgetting that the blessing is in you already. Some other people, they go to church because of they say they want to get that some spiritual powers, this and that. These things, you are born with them. The church, it is not giving you anything. So if you are going to church with that ancestral spirit, it will still be there. The church, it is not going to take that away from you. The church, it is going to help you to understand how to live with that in you. If you are born with certain, things that God bless you with, that's what you have. Church is not going to add more things into, your blessings. It doesn't happen that way. You are born with your own blessing. So people are now confused. They go to church because they're looking for certain things. If you go to church and you have that ancestral calling, if the time comes whereby that ancestral calling is becoming very big in a way that you can no longer be in church, you will go and practice the ancestral thing. But if you are still there, you are praying, and you can still maintain the level of having both gifts, then you will continue becoming the church member. That's how it is. I hear most people, they're asking questions why the church is always associated with the ancestors. First of all, when we talk about the ancestors, we talk about the people who are from your family who are no longer here with you. And within church or not in church, they will still be connected with you. You will still use their surname. You will still be in the same family tree with them. It is just in other churches, they are saying those people are demonic, they are this and that, and you rather go and call other people that you never even met, you don't even see, you are not even in their family tree. But anyway, that's how I got baptized. And it is just a long story, I know, but I try to cut as much as I can because there is so much in that. But now that's where I am, and I've been, in this journey, for years now. And I appreciate you guys showing me love and support. Thank you.